I'm going to set aside a day a week, so that we can meet and sit in a circle and pass the fan and talk. And look at, what's going on in our lives, what we would like to create, like we're talking about. What would we like to create in our lives, and what kind of tools and resources can we use? Because we all have all the tools, They're all available to us. A lot of times we just don't realize that they're there. So before I go to the next, I just wanted to say one last thing with so I'm talking about duty, devotion, and purpose, right? You know that's the adolescent model? When my teacher said that, I was like, whoa, that's hard work, That's the adolescent model of behavior change, I was like, boy, this is hard stuff, right? The adult model is courage, conviction, and strength. There's three it's like a lotus unfolding in the middle there. Courage, conviction, and strength. Okay? That is the attributes we carry as an adult. Walking with courage, right? Walking with conviction. It's the ability to stand up. When you see somebody that's hurting somebody else, speak up, When we start doing that as a culture, things change because people realize that behavior is unacceptable. And I'm not saying put yourself in danger, okay? But there are appropriate times when you can say something, It happens every day at work and, all kinds of situations where people don't realize how powerful their words are. So we've got to honor those words. And we've got to be willing to assume, that adult mantle, because that's what it is. Courage, conviction, and strength. What is strength? Conviction is being able to walk your talk, right? Being able to be strong in who you are. And the strength is really about, I use the samurai sword as an example of that. Does anybody know how a samurai sword's made? What is it that's unique about a samurai sword?
They bend it over and over and over.
Right. Yeah, it's called a katana, and it is folded repeatedly. What does that achieve?
Superior strength.
Absolutely. And what else? What makes it unique? Flexibility. Absolutely. The unique thing about the samurai sword, it's not the hardest metal. There are harder metals, and we've created them. It took them a long time. It's only recently they've been able to recreate that. So it's a fabulous sword. But the truth is that it's so flexible. That's what gives us its resilience. And so real true strength isn't this, It's not this. It's really about being flexible. In Tai Chi, which I've done for a lot of years, there's a saying, 4 ounces moves 10,000 pounds. So it's not really about strength. It's about your core. And when any of us is centered and focused, and we move from our core, other people realize it. And in Tai Chi, it's more about getting out of the way. It's about stepping aside, letting people go where they go. I jokingly will say you can help them along if they need it, but really it's about getting out of the way. So anyway, those are the adult models. And who here doesn't want to walk with those adult attributes? Who doesn't want to be able to, speak their mind appropriately? And be able to say to somebody, well, hey, you're treading on in my space here. I'd appreciate if you just back off a little. Those are tough things to say for some of us, And when I said it, for me it was for a long time. It was tough just to stand up for who I am and say, hey, I deserve. I think, isn't it deserving that this is all about? It's not about having and getting. It's already all here. But it's about allowing ourselves to feel and express our gift and know that we deserve to be a part of and connected to.